Hi everyone. So I've been asked quite a bit about the shield creation, and this is the audio. In a moment, the screen's going to change to the black and white version of Hear the Tree Fall, so that you don't get distracted by anything. This is your shield. It's how you create it, what you see, what colours, how it comes about is entirely up to you. These are just guides for you to follow and make it your own. Literally make it your own. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope it helps you. And yeah, lots of people have had loads of good, really good things happening from it. So I'm going to stop my video now and we'll go into the audio. Hello everyone, so this is about how to create your shield or maintain it or expand it. So we're going to start from the beginning. Make yourself comfortable. You can be standing, you can be sitting, you can be lying down. It's entirely up to you. Makes no difference, to be honest. Normally people feel if they're sitting or sometimes if they're lying down, it puts them more into a relaxed state. But like I said, it's entirely up to you. There is no set right way or wrong way to do this. You have to pay attention to colours and you have to pay attention to feelings. So the sensations that you get and the feelings, and they can be very, very subtle. So just pay attention as we go along. You can listen to this first and then try it. You can do it as you're going along, and do it that way. And the main thing is once you've learned how to do it, is practice. That's all it comes down to, is practice. And although I'm talking quite slowly so that you can get it into yourselves of how to do it, and I know that some of you already use Astrid. I think you use a pillar and a column, and I get that one completely. But as you practice it, you will then find that you can literally create that shield like that, no matter what situation you're in. So if you feel threatened, or you've got somebody trying to draw energy off you, or a number of other things, you can literally bring it up even in the most terrifying of situations, and it will. And funny things happen. Trust me, I've been in those situations and funny things happen. So the bit is for you at the moment is first of all, learning how to do it, which we're going to go on to in a second, and B, practice. That's it, just practice, and don't worry so much about if you get it wrong, because there actually isn't a wrong way to do it. The only thing that you might find is that your energy dissipates it out. So before we start, the first thing we're going to say is any energy that is released off, let's direct it to the trees. So I wish my energy, if it veers off, to be directed to the trees. Okay, really simple. So our intention is set, and we don't have an investment in the outcome. So we have visualized that we have a shield around us. So that's a complete shield, all the way around your back, all the way under your feet, the whole lot. It doesn't stop your connection to Mother Earth, and it doesn't stop your connection to the universe. In fact, quite the opposite, it enhances it. So while you're in this comfortable position, and try and make sure that you're hydrated whenever you're practicing, because hydration helps with everything, because remember, water always wins. So first thing you're going to do is take a few deep breaths in through your nose, down to your tummy. So you're going to watch your tummy expand, and then you're going to exhale that out through your nose. And you're going to pay attention to that little space between the inhale and the exhale, and the exhale to the inhale. Just that little space that's there. So let's breathe again. In through the nose, expanding the tummy. Pay attention to the space. Exhale through the nose. Pay attention to the space. One more time. Inhale through the nose. Little space. Exhale through the nose. And by now, you should be feeling like a kind of tingling or a lighter feeling. And that's great. That's exactly what we want. So this is a preparation for that. You have that lovely feeling going through you that's starting. It's just starting. We can make it even better, but at the moment, that's not actually what we're going to concentrate on. You're going to get a slightly different feeling to this. So now what you're going to do is take your hands and place them in front of you, roughly between your solar plexus and your heart. Okay, so just hold them about 20 centimeters apart. Doesn't have to be. It can be a bit closer if you want it to be, but no bigger than 20 centimeters. And you're going to start off visualizing. So if you can imagine your front door with the door handle and what color it is, then trust me, you can visualize. Most people can. It's very rare to find somebody who can't. They might think that they can't, but they can. So what you're going to visualize is a kind of pea-sized shape of a little tiny ball. And you're going to look at it and you're going to recognize what color it is. Now, the color you may see may be green, yellow, red, orange, blue, pink, purple, white, gold, silver, you name it. That color can, that pea-sized shape, that pea-sized sphere can be any color you want. The first thing we're going to do with it is we're going to expand it. So as you visualize between your hands, we're going to expand it until it becomes about the size between our hands, just about 5 centimeters off each hand. So that ball, that sphere, is now within your hands, and it's still the color that you've initially seen it. Now, you can look back later and decide why that color came to you. But what we're going to do is we're going to change that color. And we're going to change it to anything from ultraviolet blue, a cobalt ultraviolet blue, to a purple indigo color. Okay, anywhere in that spectrum, you can change it into that color. And you can do that now. So now that you see that in that color, you're going to start to make that ball spin. And you're going to spin it in a clockwise direction. So as if you're looking down on it, it's going just the same as the hands of a clock. Okay? And now we're starting to make it spin, and you're going to make it spin faster. And you're going to make it spin faster. And you're going to make it spin faster. And faster. Don't think that you're getting, if you feel dizzy at all, just take a deep breath, keep it spinning, but just take a deep breath in through your nose and back out through your nose. Okay, remember to keep breathing through all of this. And as that ball's spinning in that clockwise direction, we're going to see it expanding a little bit until the expansion is just about level with your shoulders. So the width of your sphere is about level with your shoulders. And your hands will naturally go out to that width, okay? And it's still spinning. It's still spinning around. What you might see inside this ball can vary. And it can be like a plasma energy, because what you're actually creating is what's called a plasma ball. So some people see it as like that, like veins of electricity coming, being inside it and moving around inside it. Other people see it as smoke. Other people see it as like a water ball. Other people see it as a swirling effect of some sort of miasmic. It doesn't really matter how you see it, because that's individual to you. That's why your shield is individual to you. Okay? So see inside that sphere as it's spinning around whatever is going inside it. And that's fine. That's personal to you. And it can be a combination of what I've said. It could be something totally different. And that's entirely fine. That's entirely fine, because it's all yours. This is absolutely all yours. It is as unique as you are. So now I'm going to invite you to make it spin in every direction. So it's still staying in the same place, but the sphere itself is moving in all sorts of directions. The same as you would roll up a piece of thread or a ball of wool, and you start making it to try and make it into a ball, you keep turning it in different directions. That's exactly what your sphere is going to be doing. And it's going to be going faster again. Okay? So now we've got this ball going really, really fast. And you should be able to start feeling in your hands as if you have some sort of connection between your hands. And actually what that is there's something between your hands. Now you physically might not be able to see it, and that's absolutely fine, because the vast majority of people do not see it, which is okay. There may come a time where you do see it. That's fine too. There's no right or wrong way with this. So as this plasma ball is spinning faster and faster and faster, what you're going to do is you're going to place it in that spot between your heart and your solar plexus. So the tip of the sphere will come and encompass your heart, and the bottom of the sphere will come and encompass your belly button, basically. And we're going to put it inside us. It's still spinning. And as you do that, you probably feel lighter. You may get the feeling of having butterflies inside you. That's okay, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And we keep it spinning, we keep it spinning. And as it's spinning, we're going to make it go even faster. So it looks as though it might just go out of control, but it's not, because you're the one that's in control of it. It doesn't go out of control because you're calm, you're there, you're present. And as it's spinning, it eventually becomes something that you can't see. So it's inside you, it's still spinning, it's still there, but eventually it becomes something you can't see. Now just relax into that feeling for a moment, that sensation that you've got inside you. And like I said, it could be that you feel lighter, it could be that you feel as though you've got butterflies, it could feel as though you've got an expansion, like a bit, like a void, if you like, between your heart center and where your belly button is. And that's fine too. You may feel as though you feel absolutely full, and that's okay too. Everybody is unique. Everybody sees it a unique way, and everybody feels it a unique way. So as this is spinning and it's gaining more and more ground all the time, okay? We have it inside us. We know exactly where it is, and it's ours. We have created it. So just say that to yourself. I have created this plasma ball. So now the next question is, what are you going to do with it? Well, what we do is we expand that sphere inside us. Now, technically what happens is that it latches on to both your solar plexus chakra and your toroidal field, which is your heart chakra. And it starts to naturally expand out from you. Now, don't let it go too far. Remember, you're in control of it. You don't want to take in the whole village or town or city that you're in, because you don't really want all those energies in with you, do you? No, that's not the best of things. So we're going to keep it to roughly about a foot away from our body. So that's about, let's say, about 30 centimeters away from our body. So that's now that is just, and it's just that sphere. It's just a ball at the moment. It's still in that sphere shape. Okay, so your head is still out above it and your legs are still out below it. So you may have a little bit of a giggle because you can see yourself with this ball, and how would you walk? And there's all sorts of people who have different questions about it, but it's okay because you're in control of it. This is yours. This is your plasma ball. It's still spinning, and we don't really need to worry about it spinning anymore. We know that we've got it spinning. We know that it's constantly spinning in all the different directions all the time. There's nothing flying off it. Everything is contained within it, and whatever we have seen within it is still going on inside that plasma ball. And now what we're going to do is we're going to expand it so that it takes in our whole body. So that means we need to elongate it a bit. And as we elongate it, what our hands do, because we've had our hands roughly round about between our chest and our belly button. And now what our hands do is they turn outwards, and we can put them down by our sides, we can put them in our lap. It's entirely up to you, as long as your palms are outwards. And as you do that, you then, in your mind, in your visualization, you expand your plasma ball so that it takes in your feet all the way down to the soles of your feet. Don't worry about not touching the earth, because it will always allow you to touch the earth. That's not a problem. And it goes all the way up over the top of our head, right, all the way down our back. And it is this one big, giant egg shape. It's now an egg shape, but it's still spinning like a sphere, because it has a central core. And that central core is you. You've created it, it's yours. And as you stand in that, just enjoy the light that's coming from it, that lovely purple, indigo, blue, cobalt blue, ultraviolet blue, whatever colour you want to see it in that range, that's exactly the colour that it is. And just think about different parts of your body. Just feel them for a moment. You may get a tightening sensation in your legs or in part of your legs. You may get a tingling feeling in different parts of your body. And that's fine. That's okay. Because it's your body responding to what you're creating. You are creating this. So as this ball is inside you and it's still spinning, we need to forget about the ball. The ball's going to continue spinning. It's all right. It's still going to be there. It's not going to be a problem. And it's going to be doing us an awful lot of good. So we just leave it spinning there. And what we now concentrate on is what's called the outer shield. And that's that outer bit that's slightly away from your body in all directions. Now, if you want to, you can keep it there. And I'm going to invite you to bring it in a little bit. And what you want to do is bring it in. And you're going to do it so that it's just above your skin, all the way around you, just above your skin, kind of like wearing a bodysuit, okay? And as you bring it in, don't worry, there's no coolness or heat to it. You may feel a little bit of sensation of that, but the actual shield itself doesn't have cool or heat in it. It's just how you sense it as it's coming in. And as it comes into being around your body and it's completely covering you like a full bodysuit all the way up, all the way over, your third eye, or your first eye as I call it, is still perfectly able to communicate with the universe. Nothing stops that. Your crown is still able to take in energy and still able to emit energy. And all the other parts, all the other chakras are working absolutely fine. So as this bodysuit comes in around you, this is your armour, and nothing can penetrate that armour unless you want it to. So what you give out, you will get back in, remember, and that can sometimes create cracks. We're not going to create cracks at the moment. Don't do that. Don't create cracks. We're going to keep this nice and whole and complete around us just at the moment. All I'm doing is explaining, so just listen to my words and just visualize that you still have that bodysuit on. That's absolutely perfectly how it should be, and it's uniquely yours. It's absolutely yours. Nobody else has got one like it. Nobody ever will have one like it because you are unique. So all I'm going to do is explain to you how we end up with cracks or holes in our shields, and I'm going to show you how to repair those or maintain our shields. So they come in because we manifest them in. And basically how we do that is we allow people who can cause cracks or holes in our shields. There are other ways, but the predominant one is that we have invited it in. So how do we first of all, get rid of that person who's creating that? Well, it's really simple. We tell them to go away. I know it sounds incredibly simple, but it is really that simple. We can make it a little bit more lengthy if we want. Even if we don't like the person, or whether we do like the person, we just put our hand over our heart. So that whole shield comes with us, remember, it's that whole bodysuit. And then with our hand over our heart, we say, I love you very much, but I really don't need you at the moment. Thank you. And off they go. It's as simple as that. Because you're in control. You're the one that is co-creating and creating. So you're the one that's in control. So what do we do whenever we're left with these little cracks and these little holes that are there? Well, it's really simple, because remember, your sphere, your central core sphere, is still spinning. And you might get a little bit of a flutter in your heart. You might get a little bit of an opening of your vocal cords. You might want to clear your throat a little bit. Just get it through. And that's fine. You may well feel that your tummy is starting to, rumble or move, and that's okay too, because remember, what we're doing is we're moving all the energies inside us at the same time, which in effect, we're moving all the energies in the universe. We are the microcosm of the macrocosm. So we're doing everything all at the same time. And it's not exhausting, because we have that infinite source energy coming into us. We constantly have that. And that's our unconditional love. And that's fine. That's great. That's what we want. So how do we actually sort these little cracks out, or these little holes? Well, it's really simple. As that core is spinning, all we do is we just send another wave out from the sphere. So as we send it out, it will naturally go to wherever it's needed. And it will naturally start mending all those holes and mending all those cracks. Now, I can hear some of you saying, how long does it take for me to do that? Well, believe it or not, that's all that it takes. That split second, as soon as you have thought about it, it happens. And it gets mended. Really, really simple. So now what we're going to do is we're going to expand out. Be careful with where you live, because I don't know where all of you live. And if you have a lot of people in a residential area, I would keep it to sort of your room size or your house size. So we're going to expand our shield out. And why do we do this? Well, sometimes we want to protect others. Sometimes we want to protect the whole area around us. There can be a number of different reasons for it. So how do we expand that out? Well, the same way as you expanded it out in the first place. And the same way as how you got it to contract around you. You are in control of it. So all you do is, in your mind, you just think, okay, I want it to be a lot bigger. And you push it out. You literally see it expanding outwards to about the size of your room. And just take some time there and just realise that you can feel everything in your room. Your eyes can be shut, but you'll feel everything in your room. You'll feel what floor covering you have. You'll feel where the door is. You'll feel where the lights are and the warmth that comes from them. If they're off, obviously it'll be a cooler feeling. You can feel any books that are in there. You can feel if you've got a television in there, or a bed, or a sofa. All these things you'll start to feel because they're within your shield. So they become heightened as they're in your shield. Now, you may start finding that if you're moving your hands, you'll start to feel them as if they're going through water. And that's because your shield is now expanded. It makes it a little bit sort of watery. That's the kind of feel that you get to it. It doesn't mean you're going any slower. It's just that that's the feel, that's the sensation. And that's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. So now that you've got a feel for your room, and if you've got any animals and they're inside that shield, what you'll do is you'll find that they'll either calm down and go to sleep, or they'll want to be just about on top of you. It happens quite regularly. And that's because they respond. They respond to things like this. So if you have an animal near you and your shield is covering them, you'll find that they'll go to sleep. And if they're already asleep, you'll find that they start snoring. Right? Because they're going to have deep sleep. Because they know they're protected. They know they're safe. And you're doing that. You're the one that's doing that. You're the one that's creating this, not just for yourself, but for those that you love. So the first thing is we create it for ourselves, and then we can help all others. This is how things work with the shield. So as it goes out, we then want to try and bring it back in again. And very gently, what we do is we think of it coming back into being our bodysuit. Try not to think of it as being a vacuum, as in sucking it back in, because you tend to get a jerk whenever that happens. We want to gently bring it back in again. And that's it. And you'll find that there is part of you that is still moving. If you've got your hands in the air, you'll find that your hands are moving around in circles because you've still got that sphere going around in the middle of you. Take some time to just focus on it, just enjoy it, get used to it. You know, you've never really been aware of your shield before. And the reason why you have it as purple to blue in that spectrum of colours is because it provides the most amount of protection from most of the things. In fact, from everything that you can have here. And the reason why we don't make it white is because then you become a beacon. You become like a siren or a klaxon going off. And we don't want you to be attractive to anything that's going to take you down, that's going to make you low in mood, that's going to change your vibration to the lower vibrational range. So that's why we guide people to having it between blue to purple. The other reason for that is because of the spiritual aspect of blue to purple. It gets very overlooked with a lot of things. Everybody tends to go for white or gold. And this is actually a far better shield for people to have. So enjoy your shield, practice doing it. Now, for those of you who have children who have asked to, how do you teach your children, or how do you guide your children to having their own shield around them that they can do? It's really simple. While you're doing this with the actions of your hands, and you can even make your fingers go in that sphere as if you're stirring it, just as if you're stirring it in a clockwise direction. You do it in front of your children, because they will be on a level of consciousness, be able to see it. And what they do is they then start doing it themselves. Now, you will get to a point whenever you practice enough, and it normally takes about 21 days for it to lock in. For some of you, it might only be a couple of days. For others, it might be a couple of months. Highly unlikely, because you're all quite far with regards to things like this. So once you've got the practice in place, you will then go through the stages of being able to do your shield literally like that. You will automatically put it up, because you don't, once you have it in your mind of how something goes, you have all the stages in place, you've practiced it, and it's then that you've created that part in your organic matter, as in your brain, but you've also created it to do with your spirit, your soul, your life spark, and all the other levels of consciousness. So all of a sudden, you can create that at any time, anywhere you want. As soon as you go out your door, you can create it and have it there. What children do is, if they're toddlers and they're watching you do this, they do it without having, you might see them playing with their hands, like 30 centimeters apart, or, seeing what they can do. And that's what they do. They're exploring, and that's absolutely fine. There's literally nothing that can go wrong with them doing that. They will then put that inside themselves, and you will see them starting to react differently with situations. So they feel more confident, more secure, and that's fine. So you have that with toddlers. When it's older children who have got an understanding about things, just talk them through exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Now, if they're going to school and they have peers at school, you just say to them, look, nobody else needs to know about this. This is just yours. If your friends choose not to have a shield, that's up to them. We don't have rights over other people. We have rights over ourselves. So if you have older children, teach them to do it. The older children who can communicate, tend to make whatever you say to make the shield go out, they literally make it go out, like about a mile to a mile and a half away. And then they think it's fab, but they then get a bit frightened with it. And that's because they're picking up all the other energies that are inside that. So that's when we try to guide them to bring it back in again. And once they've brought it back in again to a manageable size, then they start to have it as that bodysuit again. So anytime you're feeling vulnerable, got at, because you're attracting things in. When you're in that state, you attract those things in. You attract people who are going to try and take your energy away from you, and all sorts of things. And that happens. It just happens. Okay. So this is your natural protection. This is yours. You created it, and all you've basically done is given the space that is within you the complete and really easily felt sensation, energy, whereby you can protect yourself. And like I said, if you want to, if the situation calls for it, you can put it over your family or friends, or even acquaintances. If there's just something in something, you go, do you know what? You really don't deserve this. You come across people in the street who are being bullied or whatever, and you can put your shield over the top of them. That's what happens when we stand up for others. And we actually don't have to say anything to the bullies, believe it or not. They just walk away, because they just cannot stand up against this. So it's really, really simple. Once you get a bit further on, you may want to change the colour of your shield, and you can have it basically any colour you want to. But as I said, with white, it's fine, it's okay, but be very careful, because you set off like a siren then. And that in itself brings vulnerability. So that's why we tend to guide people towards the colours that have got the biggest impact when it comes to protection. If you see it as red, that's fine as well. You might find that you get very passionate whenever you put your shield up, so be careful of, how can I put it, unwanted advances, because that's the colour that will show off, you know. If you have green up, you tend to be in more of a healing mode. That's where we open to all of Mother Nature's healings and the cosmos for the healing light from that. Yellow is more towards the gold side of things, as is orange as well, believe it or not. And those ones are, they can be very, very good, but they also have a thing of attracting fairies, because it's the gold dust that they like. So, which is not a bad thing, but some fairies are good, some fairies are bad, in the sense of like just how they are. So you have all these different aspects to look at. And then you basically leave it in place and just checking it. Once you've got the practice in, just check on it and think about it, you know, when you get up in the morning, or if it's over your morning coffee, or, you know, if it's last thing at night before you go to bed. It's up to you when you think about it. And you'll find that all of a sudden you'll be sat watching television, or you'll be at work, or you'll be in a telephone call with somebody, or even just thinking, daydreaming, and all of a sudden the shield will come up in your mind, and that means that it just needs a bit of attention. So just go through the same practices, because every time you create that, you're creating a stronger shield. Okay, so that naturally will then mend it as well and maintain it. So just take your time over it. Just take your time and enjoy the sensations that are there, and know just how absolutely fabulous you are. I mean, just think about it. You've done it. You created it. How fab is that? So any questions you have on it, just let me know. Leave your shield in place. Well, you are space. So just leave it in place and get used to it. You know, get to walk around in it, because some of you have never ever done this before. So it will come as a new sensation. And if you're aware of having wings, as in being earth angels or any other type of angel, the shield goes around them as well. So don't worry about that. It encompasses everything, you know, and there's no harm. There's no bolts or screws or nuts or anything like that to put in. You don't have to hammer any nails in or anything like that. It's a very, very gentle thing, but it's an incredibly strong thing to protect you. And it comes from you because you created it. So it is as unique and individual as you are. And play about with it. Just take some time to play about with it and really relax into it. And you'll realise whenever you go out, you know, you can test it actually. Whenever you see people who are going to challenge you, just pulse, just literally pulse, a very, very short pulse of your shield. And all you're going to do is think about it. That pulse is going to go out by 10, 20 centimetres from your body. And watch how people go, and they think twice about talking to you, think twice about challenging you, and then walk away. It's a really, really good feeling to be able to have. Okay. So, like I said, be careful what you draw into yourself. Be mindful of how far your shield is going, so how much you're expanding it out. If there are any cracks or any holes in it, or it becomes thinner, then remember that you're attracting that in. So you're allowing that in. So maintain your shield first, and then figure out what you have been attracting in. And you'll soon come up with the answer. And if you don't, just give us a shout, not a problem. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and enjoy making your shields.